All right, so I made up this little Pilates routine so that you can do Pilates wherever you are, at home, or if you're at a hotel. You don't need any sort of props. All you need is yourself. That's it. I even forgot my mat, so I'm just going to use this mat that was in front of the fireplace. Plus, fireplaces are super relaxing and awesome. Okay, let's get started by laying down. We're gonna have our feet about hip width apart, heels close to the bottom, and pick your butt up and then put it back down on the floor. That's gonna help you get into a neutral spine. And what I mean by neutral spine is you have a little curve in your back, and if you were to take your hands to the tops of your hips, so the top of your pelvic bone to your hips, and then the base of the pelvic bone, you can feel kind of where it pokes out down there. Those three spots you want to have completely parallel with the floor. It's as if there was if you took a flat plane between all 3 points, that would be like a little table, and you could put like a wine glass up on there, and you don't want to spill a single drop. So you can keep your hands there if you want to check in. What we're going to do is we're going to look for our belly button and peel our shoulders, keeping the butt relaxed. We don't want to use our glutes. We're using our core, abs. Again, look for the belly button, peel the shoulders, relax the legs. This time, we're going to take the hands behind the head so you can just barely see your elbows out of the corner of your eyes. Look for your belly button, peel the shoulders, thinking about cinching the rib cage closed and lowering back down. So you're pulling the belly button down and you're squeezing the top of your abs where the rib cage comes together. 2 more of those. It's an exhale as you come up. Inhale, coming back down. And oh my gosh, this fireplace is super relaxing. And then coming back down. From here, take your hands beside you on the floor, and we're gonna float one leg up to a tabletop. You can lower that leg down, other leg comes up to a tabletop. Bringing it back down. Think about freezing the knee and lowering the leg. So it might come a little bit further away from where it initially was, and that's totally fine. If you feel good here, float both legs up, and you can lower just one and lift. Or feel free to keep your feet on the floor. That's totally up to you, but we are still keeping that pelvic bone completely still, our wine glass full without spilling a drop. If you feel good here, both legs are gonna come down and lift back up. Now I'm pointing my toes, but you can feel free to flex them. Sometimes that feels better, especially if you get cramps in the feet pretty easily. And I am using my hands to check in and make sure that pelvic bone is staying completely still. And oh my gosh, my abs are working. Whee! Okay, last one. It is an exhale as you float it back up. Great, and then you can bring the knees into the chest and relax for a second. You could do the rock side to side if that feels good for you. This next one, whoops, I just swallowed my spit. Okay, our feet are gonna come down, hip width apart, close to our bottom so the fingertips can tickle, and we're going into a bridge. That means the pelvic bone is gonna tilt, and we're gonna lift up. You can feel vertebra by vertebra coming up off of the floor. Hold it here, deep breath in. Exhale, roll it down. What I mean by roll down is place vertebra by vertebra all the way down, and then you're gonna push your tailbone a little bit into the floor so you can feel that neutral spine again. And then tuck the pelvic bone and lifting back up. Think about cinching the rib cage closed. This is different than yoga. And then lowering back down, nice and smooth. And I'll shut up so you can relax as you do a couple more. And coming back down. Feel free to go at whatever pace feels good for you. This is for you, not for me. Well, it's a little bit for me. I mean, I'm enjoying myself. All right, One last one, coming up, and then bringing it back down, keeping that rib cage closed, and then pelvic bone is the last thing to come all the way down. You can give a little push into the ground, feeling the 3 points parallel to the ground. From here, we're gonna bring the feet in together and you can float them up to that tabletop position. That means the shins are parallel to the ground, like a tabletop. Hands just stay beside you, and hands are gonna do something. Hands are gonna come up, we're gonna reach one leg out, and the other knee is gonna come in, and you can give it a little hug, and then switch it up. Other one comes and hug. Pelvic bone staying completely still. If you wanna make it harder, look for your belly button, peel the shoulders, just switching the legs. If you have a block, you can put that under your head. That sometimes feels really nice. And thinking about reaching the legs long. If you go lower towards the ground, that's gonna be a little bit harder, a little bit more of a challenge. If you're not feeling that today, you can take it up higher, and that's gonna be a little bit easier for the pelvic bone to stay completely still. That's the main focus. Keep that pelvic bone completely still. Great. Okay, doing this next to the fireplace was maybe not the best idea. I am very hot now. Last ones. And then you can go ahead and bring it in and lower yourself down. You can take the feet to the floor and do a little windshield wiper action. So the knees go to one side and then the other without going into the fireplace. Again, doing this by the fireplace was not the greatest choice, but it does look kind of cool, right? Okay, this time, feet come back up to that tabletop position. We have the pelvic bone completely still. We're gonna have legs together. Take the hands behind the head so you can just barely see the elbows out of the corner of your eye. Look for the belly button, peel the shoulders. From here, we're gonna take opposite elbow to knee and reach that other leg out. And then switch it up. Feel free to come down in between if that's what you're needing today, if that's what feels good. Otherwise, keep it up and a nice little switch, checking in with the pelvic bone, making sure it's staying completely still. Look past the opposite elbow, and that's gonna open you up a little bit more. Oh my gosh, you can hear through my voice that I am slightly struggling here. Just because I'm an instructor doesn't mean this is easy. Whew. Going slow does make it a little bit harder. Last one. Bring the knees in and you can relax it down and do a nice little rock side to side, which always feels good. Okay, enough of that. We're gonna give the abs kind of a break, less focused on the abs. We're gonna come onto our sides. So bringing the back towards the back end of the mat. I'm not going to because otherwise I'm gonna be up against this fireplace. But we want a straight line from our head all the way down to the hips. Bring the feet towards the front corner of the mat. Now, if you have a block, you can put it underneath your head and kind of cradle it. I'm gonna have the arm out and placing my head on top of that hand. Then I'm gonna take my hand to my hip, pushing long, and lift the leg up about hip width up. I'm gonna flex that foot, turn the toes slightly facing up, keeping that hip reaching long so I'm creating space between my rib cage and my hip. And I'm gonna do little circles going forward about the size of a dinner plate or an appetizer plate. I think I'm doing more of an appetizer plate. I guess I'm just not that hungry. Oh, never mind. Now it's dinner plate. I am not hungry. And then circles going the other way, breathing into it, nice and deep, getting that air into the hip, reaching long through the heel, scratching your nose because you have a little itch. If you do, I did. Great, keep it up about hip width up. We're gonna keep that turned out so the toes slightly facing up. I'm pushing my shoulders down towards my hips because I realized I was not doing that. And we're gonna bring the heel in front of the bottom foot. Lift it up just over the bottom foot, and then it's gonna go behind as far down as I can go, keeping my hips and my body completely still. It may not touch the floor. And then coming forward, this may not touch the floor. You do not need to touch the floor. That is not the aim of the exercise. The aim of the exercise is to keep your body completely still as you're going up and then behind, up, right, over, and then in front. Taking your time with it, checking in to make sure the body's staying completely still. And you can just breathe into this nice and deep, and exhaling. Finishing up this last one, lift it up, and you can lower that down. We're gonna turn onto our stomachs and come up onto your knees. We're gonna do a couple of quick little push-ups. So, knees are under hips, hands are under shoulders. We're gonna keep our butt right where it is, flat back, which does mean there's a little bit of a curve in your back because it's neutral spine, which we already went over, blah, 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 so much neutral spine in Pilates. Squeeze your arms so that your elbows, the inside of your elbows are facing forward. And we're gonna bring our shoulders down towards our hands, keeping our butt up and lifting back up. So this is a little tricep push-up. You should be feeling it in your triceps, which are right back there. And exhale, pushing up. Inhale, coming down, keeping the belly button lifted. Exhale, push up. The exhale is on the exertion. So when you feel like you're like, oh, this is hard work, that's when you're exhaling. Great. We have 2 more. You absolutely can do this in a full push-up position if that's where you're at today and if that's what you want to do. But this is about what feels good for you. So do whatever feels good. All right, we're taking the feet to the other end of the mat. We're doing the other side. That means we're coming down, lining our back up with the back end of the mat so we have a straight line from the head to the hip. Feet come towards the front corner of the mat so that you have a hinge in the hip, and we're going to reach long through the hip, creating space between the hip and the rib cage, and the top foot is going to come up about hip width up. Turn the toe out just slightly, and circles going forward, dinner plate size, or small circle size is the thing, because again, this is not so much about where your foot is going as it's much more about where your body is not going. So we're keeping our body completely still by pulling the belly button back, shoulders down, reaching long through the leg, and taking our time with it. Circles going the other way. So this time going around back, making sure you're looking straight out in front of you. Once you start looking at your feet, then your spine gets all curved, and that's not what we're going for. We're going for a nice long posture. Great, keep pulling the shoulders down. Keep breathing into it. Oh, so lovely. And we're almost done. Hold it up, keep it up about hip width up. Turning that toe out still. We're gonna bring the heel as far forward as you can, keeping the body completely still. Lift it up above the foot. It's gonna go behind the bottom foot as far as you can go, keeping your body completely still, and then lift. So we're doing a little triangle and really paying attention to the body, making sure it's staying nice and still. You can take this hand in front of you, which is a nice reminder to keep your belly button pulled back and a strong core. Or you can take it to your hip to check in and make sure that that hip is stacked on top of the other hip and it's not wiggle wobbling all over the place. Whatever feels better for you. Play with it. I always feel like Pilates, you can play with things, see how they feel, what feels good, what doesn't, what feels really stable and strong, and what feels like maybe you need to check in some more. All right, we're gonna do one last one, coming forward, and then coming back up to about hip width up, and you can lower it down. We're gonna do a figure 4 stretch, which really stretches out the glutes and gets into the piriformis that we were just working. One foot comes on top of the opposite thigh, flex that foot, lace the hands through, and breathe into it. You can take this hand, or rather elbow, and open that up by pushing into the thigh to open up the stretch. If that feels good, I don't know. It's not my thing. Not my jam. Some things, not my thing. Let go, release, other side, other foot, on top of the opposite thigh. Flex that foot, lace the hands through, pull it in. I'm gonna shut up and let you guys just breathe and enjoy. Okay, enough of that. I want to talk again. So this time, we're going to go onto our stomachs. And we're going to place the hands in front of the forehead. Feet are going to be about hip width apart. And then you can place your forehead on top of your hands. From here, keeping the belly button lifted, thinking about the 3 points of the pelvic bone being parallel to the floor, we're just going to lift the hands in the chest, lowering back down. Exhale and lift. Inhale, coming back down. Think about relaxing the legs, but keeping the belly button lifted, shoulders pulled down towards the hips. And oh my gosh, I should have vacuumed this carpet before I started doing this. It's a little bit dirty. The things we realize when we do Pilates. Okay, coming down from that one, this time, we're gonna take the feet and just exhale, lift the feet, and inhale, lowering back down. I'm gonna come forward just a little bit so you can see better. And exhale, lift, inhale, back down. Thinking about reaching long through the legs. So it's as if somebody is pulling the legs back behind you so much that that's what lifts your legs versus lifting them up. If anything I say is just not landing with you, let it go. Focus on the core being nice and stable and strong and still. Great. And shoulders pulled down towards the hips. Last one. Lower that down. We're going to do one last thing. Reach the hands out so they're about shoulder width apart. Feet are about hip width apart. Head is facing down. You don't need it laying down on the carpet. That definitely needs to be vacuumed. And we're going to reach opposite hand and foot up. Lower that down. Opposite hand and foot reach. Lowering back down. Keeping that going. Exhale as you lift. Inhale, bringing it down. And if you're feeling good there, feel free to let both hands and feet come up off of the floor, and then you can switch while hovering in the air, and you can speed it up as if you were in a puddle and you're just splashing in that puddle, having rainy day fun. Because that's what we all do. We lay in a puddle and splash around. Sure, why not? And keep breathing into it. We're almost done. Nice stable core, lifting the belly button, and lower yourself down. Push back into a child's pose. You can open up those knees, walk the hands forward, and just relax and enjoy that nice stretch. Oh, my foot is cramping. Stop it, foot. Ow. Nope. And relax, breathe into it. You guys did a great job. I hope that feels really good. You can come on up. I lied, one more. Okay, come towards the front end of your mat. Feet together, knees are out. Grab onto your thighs. Let the feet float up off of the floor, recreating space between the thighs and your belly and opening the arms so the elbows are slightly bent. Looking in between your legs, we're gonna roll back without touching the head or the neck and coming back up. That's right, roll like a ball, one of my favorites, and coming back up. And enjoying that little massage for the spine, enjoying it just being fun. And maybe this isn't your thing, then you can just hold it here with the feet up, pressing the hands into the thighs, thighs into the hands. Even if you're rolling like a ball, you still want to be pressing the hands into the thighs, thighs into the hands. Everything's active, pulling the belly button back. Last one. And then you can lower yourself down. And that is Pilates for at home. I hope you enjoyed.